Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us in our public session for our audit committee meeting. We'll call the meeting to order. Any declaration of conflict of interest? Seeing none, we're coming up to the approval of the agenda, but I just wanted to add our land acknowledgement in that portion before we go into the rest of the agenda. And so I will read the land acknowledgement. Durham District School Board acknowledges that many Indigenous nations have long-standing relationships, both historical and modern, with the territories upon which our school board and schools are located. Today, this area is home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island. We acknowledge that the Durham region forms a part of the traditional and treaty territories of the Mississaugas of Sukuk Island First Nation, the Mississauga peoples, and the treaty territories of the Chippewa of Georgina Island First Nation. It is on these ancestral and treaty lands that we teach, learn, and live. So thank you for joining us. We'll go into our other item, which is the approval of the November 7, 2019 Audit Committee public meeting minutes. Any changes, concerns in regards to those minutes? See none, can we have an approval of the minutes? Thank you, Matt. Seconded by Carla. Thank you. And we'll move into an item, which is the financial process in 2019-20.
Sorry, Patrice.
Financial report.
I'm not able to second that motion because I wasn't in attendance.
Oh, okay. Paul, can you second that?
Yes.
Motion? Thank you. And we have the presentation of item number 5.
Through you, Madam Chair, it's my pleasure to welcome our Senior Manager of Finance, one of our Senior Managers of Finance, Melissa Durward, to present this report to you this evening. Before Melissa gets going, just in case I don't have a chance at the end, I just want to say thanks very much to Melissa and recognize her efforts and her team's efforts in pulling the financial statements together on the tight timeline that they did. It really is a Herculean effort to pull the financial statements together in the compressed timeline that the Ministry of Education requires. So excellent job. This is Melissa's first time pulling the financial statements together. Not that she did it on her own, certainly with the support of her team, but congratulations, Melissa, on getting this done, and certainly thanks to KPMG, our external auditors, for turning the audit around as quickly as they did. So with that, Melissa, thank you.
Thank you, Associate Director Wright. Through you, Chair, in this evening's package, you'll find, beginning on page 3, the financial report, pages 3 through 6. So first part of the report just lays out the financial process, the financial reporting cycle, as well as the different roles of the different parties involved. And currently, for the 2019-20 school year, we're at the part of the year-end financials, having just gone through the external audit and now presenting the financial statements for the year for review and approval. Some high-level analysis attached to the package. You will find pages 7 through 59 is the financial report, including the financial statements and auditor's report from KPMG. Some key figures to note: the financial assets for the year ending at $414 million, financial liabilities of $1,154 million, and non-financial assets of $1,006.9 million. For the statement of operations for the year, total revenues for the 2019-20 school year, $845 million, with expenses totaling $838 million, resulting in an annual surplus of $7.2 million. Included in the notes to the financial statements are notes for some of the significant items. In note number 8, retirement and other employee future benefit liabilities, net debenture debt in note 9, as well as tangible capital assets in note 13. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Melissa. Any questions? Any comments or concerns? Okay. Anything to add, Paul?
Are you just trying to get me talking? The only question that popped in my mind was the 7.7 million surplus. Is that the same as reserves?
David? You just muted yourself.
I did it backwards. I apologize. Through you, Madam Chair. Melissa, could you highlight for Trustee Crawford and the Audit Committee the breakdown of that annual surplus, please?
Sure. So that was the overall results, essentially revenues minus expenses for the year for the board. And then as you're aware and have seen previous, accumulated surplus for the board is broken into several different reserves, and one of which is the working funds reserves. And then there are other ones that are internally restricted, if you will, and included in the additional the attachments here on page, pardon me, page 49 of the package. You will see a breakdown of many of those reserves and the results in year and any changes in year.
The reason I'm asking it is that the public might ask, we did use our reserves this year. So I'm wondering, is there a relation between the surplus and the reserves, or is that something separate? We haven't replaced our reserve because we used it this year due to COVID.
So for the 2019-20 fiscal year, we did use of the working funds, which I believe is what you're speaking to. We did use a small portion of 470,000. And then we did also spend some other reserves or adjust some other reserves during the year, but I believe what you're referring to is the use of the working funds. And fortunately, we had some savings due to COVID during the year. So although we did draw down 470,000, it was not as much as the anticipated or budgeted draw on reserves for the year, which was 3.5 million.
All right, thank you.
Nora? Director Marsh?
Thanks, through you, Chair. I just want to clarify that we're not getting our years confused either. So this year, the board did approve quite an ambitious extensive use of the reserves to try to provide more staff and other safety measures, risk mitigation strategies, really in terms of managing the pandemic when schools reopened. But that would be for this year. And so I just wanted to make sure we weren't blurring the lines between years potentially.
Okay, thank you for that. That's where I was confused. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so if there are any other questions or comments? Matt?
Yeah, I just I wanted to echo David's compliments to management for getting this these financial statements pulled together in the midst of, a number of management changes, COVID-19, and then also supporting an external auditor, an audit that had to happen all within, the better part of 70 days to get us to where we are today. So again, thanks management. I've gone through this myself. It's not easy to just show up and have the same old set of statements, and work through that. So compliments to Melissa, David, and the entire team. I have a good appreciation for what you guys did. I don't have a full appreciation for certainly all that you had to go through, but congratulations to you guys. I had just two questions on the statements, if you will. Note 8 makes reference to the accrued benefit obligations and actuarial valuation estimates, which I realize are naturally an estimate and have a high degree of uncertainty. The last valuation was done at August, I think 31st, 2019. given how significant some of the inputs into that valuation would be, inflation, interest rates, the expectations of growth, in assets, investment returns, those type of things, in the midst of COVID-19 and all that's happening now. Just curious, and maybe this is a question not only for management, but also for the external auditors. How do you get comfortable with such an uncertain time as to what exactly those obligations are at a point in time? It's extremely challenging. I was just curious, we didn't get a new valuation requirement. That's probably not required because I think it's only required every 3 years. But how did you get comfort that that's the right number at a point in time, which is August 31st, 2020?
So through you, Madam Chair, and I'll start off, and then Melissa, if you have anything to add in, and then maybe we'll go to Joanne. Though I don't think there's a full actuarial valuation done every year. Our actuaries do take a look at the assumptions they made, and so there might be an opportunity to refresh them. But it's a point in time valuation. So maybe I don't have the best answer for you, but Melissa or Joanne?
Certainly, just to echo your comments that while it was a roll forward year, they did update some of the assumptions. Just near the end of note 8, you'll see some of the assumptions were adjusted slightly. So they did adjust a few things, and yeah, point in time at this point.
Yes, same comments. From our perspective, we do look at the report. We do also engage our expert, our specialist, to also review the assumptions that are being employed as at August 31st, 2020 for reasonability as well, to be able to conclude on this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any follow-up questions? Any comments? No? Okay. I also wanted to take the time to, I should have welcomed you, David, and introduced you. Yours like, it feels like you've been here forever already. So I keep forgetting that as we go through each process yearly, you'll still have firsts. So thank you for being on board and for the audit committee. And I wanted to welcome you on board.
Thank you very much, Chair Barnes. I appreciate that. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and so if we have no further questions, we have a recommendation to receive the 2019-20 financial report of the Durham District School Board, including transfers to and from internally restricted funds, and for it to be approved as presented. Can we have a motion to receive? Thank you, Matt. Can we get a motion to second? Thank you, Carla. All right, so we are all in favor, and that was just me. And so I think that brings us down to, that was really the meat of our agenda. And so the next thing we have is any other business. Okay, see none. Can we get a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Matt. Seconded by? Thank you, Carla. So thank you, Paul. So we are adjourned. Thank you very much. And for those that joined us briefly online, thank you for being with us. Have a good night.